I love it. I love it. Real Estate Mailbag brought to you by the coastal team of Keller Williams Pacific Estates, where you are treated like family. Give them a call at 562-888-0404 and find out what family's treated like. John, why should I buy instead of rent?
Because it's a cool thing to do.
Why should I buy instead of rent? That's a loaded question.
Plain and simple. Well, I mean,
I think
loaded.
I'll bet you it's vague, but it's popular. I bet you there's a billion people out there that want to answer to that question.
But do you really think
that depends?
Do you really think that people have the question, should I buy or should I rent?
Yes.
Or is it a question
Should
of,
I buy or should I rent now?
Is it a question of, can I buy or do I need to?
I don't know.
No, I think it should.
Maybe I should put that on my next postcard.
Really, you think people
That
just
sounds
don't
like a
want
good
to? People just don't want to own?
No, I think that there's mindsets out
Yes.
there, and a lot of people think, well, if I rent, I don't have to deal with property taxes.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with the government. I don't have to deal with broken
Well, I can
water
tell you
pipes.
right now,
But if
nobody
I-
thinks of property taxes.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Somebody does.
Well,
And then
you
the
got it.
other people are on the buy side. They're like, well, I want to own something. I want something
Exactly.
I can.
American dream.
American dream. Damn it. I want it. I got to own this.
well, when it finally clicks in that whoever owns that property you're renting and you're making the mortgage payment for them,
Right.
then that's kind of the reality to someone to get motivated to go out there and
How
say,
often
hey,
does
well,
that really happen? How often do you buy a house in order to rent it and get a payment on that house low enough to where the rent either equals it or surpasses it?
Today's market.
That's my entire family.
Today's market will do it.
In today's market, you think you can buy homes
Yeah.
and have a mortgage payment
Yes.
lower than what the rent would bring in.
Yeah, fully
Yeah.
amortized 30-year fixed mortgage.
All of our renters pay all of our mortgages
Okay.
in my family.
So in this case, John's question, why should I buy instead of rent?
so you can
And I
work
had no
toward
idea that
ownership.
Elisa was a slumlord.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, now let's say I'm not renting it out. I'm just a person who's going to live in this house. It's my intention to live here. I want to live in this city, blah, blah, blah. What are the benefits of one versus the other? What's your opinion?
The end
Buy
game.
or rent, and why?
The end
That's
game.
what
The
we do.
end game is the reason, because
The
if
end
you're
game.
going to pay an amount of rent literally equal to amount of mortgage, you may as well be vesting yourself into that property, and in the end, own it.
What about when everything breaks in it and all about the taxes and
The
the additional fees you got to pay?
Well, people think that sometimes those are really exorbitant fees.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're not really that bad.
They're not
you-
bad.
I mean,
No,
like a
you-
plumbing
you could-
maybe cost me. I had a $1,200 plumbing issue, which, if you think about it,
That's a
lot
big
of
plumbing
money.
But you could
Oh, it
live
was a
it.
big plumbing.
But you could have a.
But that's pretty.
I mean, that's pretty.
That was
you
a
probably,
lot.
You probably repiped the house.
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, no, I
But
did.
you could get a home warranty
Home
for
warranty.
$350,
$200,
$400.
$300.
You can continue to pay on that.
Yep.
That's just insurance.
That's every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So $300 a year, and
And it covers a
water
lot.
It covers an
It
awful
doesn't
lot.
cover everything, but it covers a lot.
Yeah.
It's not as bad.
Some of
as
them cover
people think it is.
pools and spas and
Well, you can always get additional coverage. Their insurance policies. Insurance companies will sell you insurance for anything.
the taxes. I guess that's not really that bad, and maybe you can make it up in the
Taxes
difference.
are good. Taxes are a good write-off, and you definitely have a long-term investment. I mean, in certain markets, historically, since the beginning of home buying, values are going up. They've just
Caveman days.
always gone up. They stopped making land a long time ago. So the home values are going up. They continue going.
They stopped making land.
Yeah, so it's supply and demand. So there's only so much land, only so many houses. Population continues to grow. Home values continue to rise. The economy continues to.
Have you seen
standard
a
of living.
satellite of the world, especially in the United States? Have you
There's
seen
almost
all
nobody on there, right?
the land
Yeah.
where there's nothing?
Yeah.
I'm
There's
talking-
little lights on the coasts.
Yes.
And then everything else is pitch black.
But
It's
you know what?
awesome.
There's lots of land.
There are permits waiting on that open land
Yeah, there's-
somewhere.
Okay. Back to the question.
Okay.
Am I sensing from the three of you, you're all thinking buy versus rent?
Personal decision.
In this market today, as we sit here today in September of 2013, because of the way the market is structured, you're thinking buy versus rent.
Yes.
Now, there are definitely times when it's rent versus buy.
Correct.
right?
Well, if you think you're going to be stable and you want to live in that neighborhood because it's a long-term commitment, so you're going to be in that neighborhood for at least a few years.
Yeah.
So you have to have steady employment in the area. So a lot of it has to do with your lifestyle and the things that are going on in your life. If you're ready, you want to buy a home when you're ready to buy a home. This is a really great time to do it. But it's got to be right for you. It's got to be right for you. You've got to be stable. You got to be you can't be in a position where you might move next
Yeah, a
year.
lot of people get frustrated if they, for some reason, aren't pre-approved right away, and we're putting them on a plan to
Right.
get to the point where they need to be. But oftentimes I'm like, look, don't worry about it. Don't stress about it, because the right time to buy is when it's right for you.
And even during the
Is that a quote?
Ooh.
I think I've seen that on a commercial or a postcard.
what I
The
usually-
right time to
I
buy
just saw it
What I
is when it's
usually-
right for you.
bus that went by right now.
On a bus bench.
Well, what I usually advise is if it's somebody who's not quite in a financial position to buy right now,
Yeah.
rent in the area you want to buy in.
Learn.
So learn the neighborhood.
But I think
Yeah, I agree with
there
that.
are very few who aren't prepping themselves at some point to eventually buy. I don't know many people that say, no, I want to rent the rest of my life.
Yeah, I know. It's. I think more people have that buy in their head, and I think they grow up listening to that, and it just kind of fits. All right. So, John, I think we're all in agreement that, especially at this particular point in time, we've given you some indications about why, but buy is on the top of our list versus rent. It's, for anybody who wants to get involved in the mailbag, hit us up at KeepingItRealEstateRadio.com on YouTube and leave us a comment anywhere, and we'll get your question on. Thanks.